Hi everyone, and welcome back to Southside Dodge Rebels This Week. On this week's show, we take you to Calgary and Innisfail for preseason matches versus the Hitmen and the Lethbridge Hurricanes. We also check in with a pair of Rebels hopefuls looking to crack the full-time regular season roster. We've got grilled cheese, we've got golf, we've got Jared Waldo. So let's get right to it. It's a busy show. This past Friday night, the Hitmen and Rebels did battle at the Winsport Center in Calgary. A large number of Rebels veterans were spectators for this one, including the likes of Dumba, Robinson, Mayer, Ness, Bartosak. The first scoring chance of this game goes to the Hitmen as Joe Cornelson is sent in all alone. He beats Bolton Pouliot, but can't beat the crossbar. Hitmen come charging once again. This time it's Brooks Masick with the puck. He pulls up and fires. Pouliot with the save. The puck lays loose in the crease. Trevor Cheek finally gets to it, but can't beat a diving Pouliot. Calgary does open the scoring not long after that. Masick again leading the rush. He cuts across the middle before sliding a pretty pass to Victor Rask. The talented Swede tees it up for Cheek to make it 1-0 Hitmen. Turner Elson cuts across the neutral zone for the Rebels. He gets as far as the Calgary blue line before being taken out neatly by former first overall Bantam pick Jake Virtanen. Check out this great play by Corey Miette. He spins and works the give and go to perfection with Joel Hamilton before ripping one past Chris Dreger. Some very impressive work by Miette gets the Rebels on the board. Bit of a lucky one here for the Rebels as Stephen Hack leads the rush and drops it off to Trace Elson. He fans on his shot, but it's enough to throw off Dreger's timing. The shot sneaks into the cage. Turner's younger brother gives Red Deer a 2-1 lead. But the Hitmen would tie it up before the end of the first. Some real pretty tic-tac-toe passing from Cheek to Masick to Elliot Peterson. He tips it past Pouliot to make it a 2-2 game through 20 minutes. To the second, Hitmen with the puck on a delayed penalty against the Rebels. They can't get control of it before Masick scores one of his own, giving Calgary a 3-2 lead. Hitmen on the power play this time. Janen Risling walks the line before firing one on net, but Bolton Pouliot does a nice job of seeing through the traffic to make the save. Turner Elson turns on the Jets and goes in untouched. Breakaway scoring chance, but Dreger stands tall and shuts the door. Grant Naherniak now in net for the Rebels. He doesn't get much help on this one as Virtanen fires it home through a screen. Hitmen are looking forward to a big season from the guy they took first overall in 2011. We've got fisticuffs. Cody Teal going toe-to-toe with Alex Roach, a pair of big defensemen doing battle. Unfortunately for Teal, things don't go well as Roach gets a number of solid shots in before ripping his helmet off. And one smiling youngster had a front row seat. Power play situation for the Rebels, but it's the Hitmen on the attack. Dylan Fluter flies in and takes the shot. Naherniak can't hang on to the rebound, but luckily for him, Pavlo Patakin misses the rebound. Hitmen keep coming. Long pass from Brady Brassard over to Victor Rask. He lets loose with a scorching wrister, but it goes off the iron. Dexter Bricker looking to make his presence felt. Gets a good hit in here on Peter Kosterman. Rebels trying desperately to get back in this one. Connor Bleakley's pass knocked down by Jesse Miller. He finds Mark McCoy out front, but Dreger once again shuts the door. Then a quick whistle costs Bleakley a scoring chance of his own. Hitmen still lead 4-2. Brooks Maxwell comes out from the half wall and shoots it on net where Adam Kambites tries for the tip, but he can't push it home. Naherniak squeezes hold of this point shot. Then things get rough behind the net as Devin Fafford stirs things up. The officials get in before any damage can be done. Hitmen go on to win 4-2.
Some good things and some bad things. I think overall the difference in the hockey game is that we were too soft in our own zone. We had just missed assignments, and it was too easy to score against us from the tough areas. We got 4 goals scored against. They were all scored from right within 6 to 8 feet of our net, and we have to be tougher to play against in that area of the rink. It's tough when you put yourself in a hole like that, especially when they're easy goals to give up. You can't dig yourself that hole.
I felt pretty good. I was laying the body a lot. I was trying to be physical, try to contribute that way. I feel like some things didn't go our way offensively, and we were struggling in our D zone. We were making mistakes that we usually shouldn't make, and overall we didn't play how we should have played.
Game stats brought to you by 24/7 Red Deer. Rebels come up short by a score of 4-2 in this one. The goals courtesy of Joel Hamilton and Trace Elson. The very next night, the Rebels coming a bit closer to home as they kicked off their annual Central Alberta preseason tour in Innisfail versus the Lethbridge Hurricanes. Patrick Bartosak gets the call in this one. His first start of the preseason and his first start for the Rebels since last December. Innisfail Eagles head coach Brian Sutter on hand for the opening faceoff. Hayden Fleury floats one in from the point. Joel Hamilton can't get enough of a handle on it to beat Canes goalie Ty Rimmer. Chad Robinson breaks in for a great scoring chance, but Rimmer snags that one right out of midair, keeping it scoreless. Reed Duke's dump in takes a weird bounce off the boards, comes right out front to Tyler Wong, but Bartosak reads the play well and makes the save. Nice toe drag here by Duke, but Bartosak is there once again to shut the door. Scary moment here for the Rebels as Connor Bleakley is clipped by Daniel Johnston. A close call, but both players would be fine. Rebels come up empty on the ensuing power play. Michael Sophia steals the puck at the blue line, comes in alone on Bartosak. He gets a couple of shots away, but to no avail. A defensive breakdown by the Rebels here leads to Russell Maxwell getting a glorious scoring chance. Luckily, he fans on his shot. The Rebels dodging a huge bullet. Fast forward to the third period. Hurricanes with a 5-on-3 power play. Bartosak with the save on Johnston. Wong barely misses with the rebound. Rebels still hanging in there. But Lethbridge finally breaks through moments later as the puck finds its way to Russell Maxwell, parked all along crease side. Bartosak can't get there in time to prevent the Hurricanes from taking a 1-0 lead. Rebels look to draw even. Mark McCoy sends in Charles Inglis. He lets loose with his sizzling wrister, but cannot beat the glove of Ty Rimmer. McCoy again finds Inglis, who this time charges hard to the net. He beats Rimmer and appears to tie this one up, but after a long discussion, the officials say the net came off before the puck went in. No goal for the Rebels. Jesse Wallen doesn't like it. Can't do much about it. Kevin Pochuk pinches in from the point for this shot. Rimmer makes the save. Rebound bounces away from Connor Bleakley, who had a chance. Joel Hamilton comes in all alone from the blue line. He beats Rimmer to the stick side, but misses the net. Hurricanes come looking for an insurance marker, and Maxwell almost gets it for them, but Bartosak is there for the short side save. Lethbridge comes even closer while on the power play. Ryan Keelan beats Bartosak, but rings it off the iron. Trace Elson tries to find Hamilton in front of the Hurricanes net, but the play is broken up. Lethbridge hangs on for the 1-0 win, and afterward, Coach Wallen was anything but pleased.
We've got to be a lot better in all areas. I mean, we didn't generate enough offense. We didn't get enough pucks to the net, enough traffic to the net for second opportunities. We gave up too many opportunities in our end of the rink. We're just off a soft coverage and missed assignments, and we didn't move the puck well enough. There were too many turnovers, and our D struggled getting the puck up to our forwards, and our forwards turned a lot of pucks over in the neutral zone. Just overall, it was a sloppy hockey game.
The obvious bright spot in this game for the Rebels was the play of Patrick Bartosak. Making his first start since last December, the Czech goalie made 37 saves on 38 shots against.
It was my first game after a long time, so I try to get ready as much as I can, and I try to get ready like as it was game in the regular season. So yeah, but still we didn't win. Make lots of saves, and so I can pick up some confidence. And
also of note from this game, the Rebels had Cody Teal playing at forward, a position he grew up playing as a youngster, and he was all smiles about the move.
It was good getting back up there. I played forward my whole life back home, all the way to midget, and then switched, and they said they wanted a physical body up front because we have small guys up there, so I took advantage of it.
Here's what's coming up this week as the Rebels go through their final week of the preseason. Friday night, the Rebs head out to Lacombe to take on the Edmonton Oil Kings. Then on Saturday, it's Stettler's turn to play host as the Rebels take on Medicine Hat. After that, it's on to the regular season.
Here's our latest list of the cuts and reassignments the Rebels have made as they trim down toward their regular season roster. The more recent moves include Earl Webb, who was reassigned following Friday night's game versus the Hitmen. Then on Saturday night, after the Rebels fell 1-0 to Lethbridge, both Brant Naherniak and Kevin Pochuk were reassigned. Naherniak will play Midget AAA again this year in Moose Jaw, while Pochuk will play in the Manitoba Junior Hockey League for the Verdant Oil Capitals. After making these moves, the Rebels have trimmed their roster to 26 players.
Now it's coming down to the wire as to who the final cuts from this training camp roster will be, and as to who will be around when the regular season gets underway on September 21st. Now, Jesse Miller was a relative unknown coming into this camp, but every time on the ice so far, whether it be scrimmage, the black and white game, or the preseason, he's made a very strong case for making the regular season roster.
The Rebels came across Miller this past season while he was playing on the same Midget AAA club as Kevin Pochuk, the Winnipeg Wild. Prior to that, he was never drafted to the WHL, nor was he on any other club's protected list. His offensive prowess at the midget level is what earned him an invite to Rebels camp.
Well, I had a good season there at the Wild. I put up some goals and assists, and hopefully, if I work hard enough, I could put up the same amount of points that I did last year here, and I'd be very impressed with myself.
He's a guy that we think can bring some offense to us, and as I mentioned, he's a big guy and he plays with some grit. He's got an edge to his game. He's willing to get into the corners and dig and get to the front of the net. And, he's got some skill, but he's also got that grit that's going to allow him to create some offense.
Miller lit it up in Winnipeg last season with 50 points in 41 regular season games and 14 more points in 9 playoff affairs. He's quickly learned just what it takes to have any sort of similar success in the Western League.
Just moving my feet at this level, everybody could skate, everybody could handle the puck, but it's also, you got to be smart with the puck out there. You got to make the right plays, quick passes, and you just got to overall have a good, solid outing. When you're playing out here, you can't have any shifts off, and I don't think I have, so that's been working well for me, just working hard.
He's got that confidence coming off a great season with a good team last year, and he's got the strength and the maturity to come in here and make an impact right off the hop. So confidence is always good. It's something that's earned. He's trained hard this summer, and he came in here with the attitude that he was going to make the team.
I've been getting some chances around the net. I got my first goal there against Prince George, first goal of the game. That was a huge confidence lifter, and if I could keep doing that, putting the puck to the net, driving for rebounds, shooting the puck, get the puck on the net, I think it'll be a good year.
Miller's Junior A rights are owned by the Winkler Flyers of the Manitoba Junior Hockey League, so he'll be playing junior hockey somewhere this season. But with what he's shown so far, he's making a very strong case to make the Rebels roster for 2012-2013.
Now, Vuki Mapofu is a player Rebels fans have been talking about for the better part of a year. But his effort to make this Rebels team during training camp has taken a rather drastic turn. Here's Jared Waldo with more.
What appears to be a potential cog on the blue line for future seasons, Vuki Mapofu's chance of cracking the Red Deer Rebels lineup as a 16-year-old have been questioned by many since the start of training camp. But is there plans for Mapofu that we're not aware of quite yet? The Saskatoon native has spent most of his time during camp and the preseason playing as a winger in scrimmages and exhibition games. Does this mean he has a better opportunity to make the Rebels as a forward?
That probably had something to do with it, and I think it's just take it day by day and try and get better each day, and I guess we'll see how it goes.
So far, so good. After a couple of points in the Rebels' annual black and white game playing up front, Mapofu also notched a pair of assists last weekend in St. Albert in games against Prince George and Edmonton. Despite some relative success so far, Mapofu notes it's been a learning experience to say the least.
It was a bit of an adjustment, but now I'm starting to get really comfortable and starting to really enjoy it. And each day I'm asking questions to Jesse and some of the older guys, trying to learn some new things that I didn't know before playing defense. But I think I'm really starting to get used to forward and really starting to enjoy it.
And if Mapofu is hoping to solidify one of very few spots on this Rebels hockey club, head coach Jesse Wallen confirmed that it probably won't be as a defenseman, at least not this season.
Playing defense at this level, his skating ability and the offense, the instincts that he have are very evident, yet there's not a lot of 5'9" defensemen at this level, and we were just a little concerned with the guys, other young guys that we have back there, where he was going to fit in.
So what's the end game for the youngster? Mapofu is likely to play wherever he's told, and if he's going to play for the Rebels anytime soon, he may have to evolve into a new position.
His skating ability, his offensive instincts, and his skill level have allowed him to adapt quite well, and we think he's a guy that can certainly fit in up there, if not this year, then certainly in the next couple of years. So we're excited about that.
Even as a forward, there may not be a lot of room for Mapofu to make this team this season, but he does provide Wallen and his staff a lot of options should they decide to keep the kid around. For Rebels This Week, I'm Jared Waldo.
Well, even just mention the word injuries, and Rebels fans are sure to cringe after what this team went through last season. And I promise we're going to stop talking about it eventually. But not before Jared Waldo catches up with some of the veteran players coming back this season, hoping to get their games back on track after spending much of last year on the MASH unit.
Maxwell will come back for it.
It was a season marred by injuries. The Red Deer Rebels lost over 300 man games due to injury last season, and as they look ahead to the 2012-2013 campaign, the wounded soldiers from the year gone by seem to be healed and ready to go.
Last year, it's over and done with, and there's no point in looking back on that now. and I mean, we learned what we needed to learn from that. And I think this year, just excited. I mean, with only playing about half the games last year, I'm pretty excited to be on the ice again. And I think everyone's excited to get a new fresh start.
The captain would know. Adam Kambeitz was on pace to have a monster year, but missed significant time last November when he was derailed with a broken wrist. Then it was an additional 5 weeks in February with a severely injured ankle. He was limited to just 45 games, but still managed a career-high 19 goals. As this season begins, Kambeitz feels healthy, ready to contribute even more.
Actually, everything healed up great. I mean, I feel 100% now, and there's nothing nagging or bugging me, so I'm fresh and ready to go.
As ugly as that hit looked earlier, Joel Hamilton has fully recovered from the fracture of 2 vertebrae in his back, but says it's been a battle to get back to where he wanted to be.
Feeling a lot better than I was, that's for sure. I had a long off season getting back to 100%, and it took a lot of slow days at the gym, just kind of easing back into it. And then recently, a couple weeks ago, I got treatment out in Vancouver. And since then, I've been feeling a lot better than I have, and out on the ice, it's been feeling really good so far.
As hard as it was physically to return to form, the mental toll it took on Hamilton was something to come back from in its own right.
I was worried coming back that maybe I just wouldn't be the same, or I wouldn't be able to play my style of game, that kind of run and gun, get in the corners and get gritty hockey. And so far during camp, it's been better on my mental aspect, and hopefully it just keeps getting better.
Colton Mayer was another Rebel who spent significant time in the infirmary last season and appeared in just 52 games. Now entering his 4th season in the Western Hockey League, Mayer is back to full status and ready to get started.
Feels great. Missing those last 20 games there was really hard on me, and I missed the game a lot, so it's great to be back.
With such a decimated lineup, Mayer tried not to let his injury sideline him initially, but as luck would have it all season for the Rebels, the St. Albert native just couldn't avoid missing substantial time.
I broke my wrist first, and I was playing with the cast for a few weeks there, and then I went into the boards and kind of jammed my thumb on the same hand and broke my thumb, so that put me out for good. And yeah, it's just there's a lot of injuries last year, and we want to get past that and look forward to a new season here.
Injuries will no doubt hit the Rebels again this season, as they will every team in the WHL this year, but the team is hoping that the bug that bit so hard last season has been exterminated for good. For Rebels This Week, I'm Jared Waldo.
Time for a quick break. When we come back, Jared Waldo and I have a chat about what we've seen from the Rebels so far this camp. We go behind the scenes at the Sutter Fund Golf Tournament, and grilled cheese is on the menu. We'll be right back.
Southside Dodge Chrysler Jeep and RV Center is proud to serve Central Alberta. 100% satisfaction, friendly salespeople, and excellent customer service. Southside Dodge, home of the $10,000 giveaway.
Hi everyone, Jack here at 360 Fitness Personal Training. If you're looking to lose weight, burn fat, and just feel great in your clothes again, 360 Fitness can get you there. Work one-on-one with our trainers to get you in the best shape of your life. Get results or your money back.
Complete Athlete in Sylvan Lake is Central Alberta's #1 hockey training facility, boasting one of the world's largest skating treadmills and stick handling platforms. Learn, train, perform. Complete Athlete in Sylvan Lake.
Welcome back to the show. Time to bring in Jared Waldo in for a quick chat regarding the latest developments. And let's start by talking about the blue line. Jared, with Mapofu and now Cody Teal playing up front during these preseason games, not many moves left to be made on that blue line.
Well, you could argue that the Rebels are done making moves on the blue line, especially when you have guys like Teal and Mapofu who may be playing forward right now, but they also have that ability to transition back to the blue line in a pinch. So you look at who's left, who's available, what moves have to be made. I like, a Riley Boomgarden who's really come in and played a role very well, and he's somebody that maybe wasn't projected to be on the team heading into this season, but is here. I think he's going to stick. He brings a lot to the Rebels, good size, good strength. So I think if you take a look at the blue line as a whole, and with the options you have up front, they could be done making moves back there.
And when you move guys like Teal and Mapofu up front, that puts pressure on these other bubble players like the Phasers and the Trace Elsons to really step up their game and prove that they're worthy of being here.
Well, and you wonder how much stock you put into the preseason. You take a look at Trace Elson, who is leading this team in points right now, but he's probably going to be a third or fourth line guy if he plays on this team. Scott Fazer coming into this offseason, he was a guy that you maybe projected to be in the Rebels' top 12. Hasn't had a great training camp or preseason, and it makes you wonder if he's the odd man out. And then you look on the blue line, and if there are changes to be made, does it come with somebody who's trying to make the team for the first time, or somebody who was here last year, a guy like Devin Fafford, who maybe hasn't had his best training camp or preseason either? Is he somebody you move out in favor for somebody who comes in? So again, more moves yet to be made. Who it is exactly, we're not sure.
How much stock do you put into the fact, I know it's only preseason, but coming off a tough year last year, how much stock do you put into the fact that this team's 0-4 right now?
Not much right now, because I think you look at all the intangibles of other teams making decisions on players that they have. Maybe they have to play some of their veterans more so, or maybe they don't have a lot of decisions to be made. So they might ice a stronger team than the Rebels, who are moving players inside and out, and players like Mapofu and Teal, who are playing up front, who normally wouldn't play in that position. So you're always looking at different options, and you take a look at whether it's the WHL, the NHL. Preseasons usually don't amount to too much, and I know some fans are thinking 0-4. There hasn't been a whole lot of offense. Your veterans aren't putting up the points that you maybe expect them to, and at this point I don't think you should. Come September 21st, if we're looking at a 4-0 shutout or an 0-4 start to the year in September, then maybe you start to look at things a little bit more. But right now I don't think you worry too much.
One more quick one for you. 2 more exhibition games coming up this weekend. What are you looking forward to the most from this Rebels club?
Well, I'm looking forward to maybe a change, maybe a W, just to kind of get that out of your system that you can't win a game. But I think what we're looking for here is maybe a more accurate look at who's going to be there to start the season, and figuring out where those battles, where those final spots going to be made. Is it going to be up front? Do the Rebels let go of a couple of players from the forward ranks? Do they make a move on the blue line? Is that a position where they need to make a move and make some final decisions? So it's going to be interesting over the next couple of games.
Jared, thanks for this.
Thank you.
Coming up after the break, we go behind the scenes at the annual Sutter Fun Golf Tournament, and we check in with the boys at 106.7 The Drive and their grilled cheese invitation. We'll be right back.
Nelson to hack the shot. Score!
Hey Red Deer Rebels fans, have we got the show for you? Southside Dodge Rebels This Week is your #1 source for everything Rebels. Highlights, interviews, stats, and exclusive behind-the-scenes features brought to you each and every week by those who have their eye on the Rebels all season long. Southside Dodge Rebels This Week, weeknights on Shaw TV.
Hi Rebels fans, Colin Fraser here at the LA Kings. You're watching Southside Dodge with the Rebels This Week.
Welcome back to the show. It's an event which Central Alberta hockey fans look forward to each and every year. The annual Sutter Fun Golf Tournament brings together each of the legendary brothers and many of their friends from around the hockey world. It's a great cause as they have some fun while also raising money for minor hockey groups throughout Central Alberta.
I think everyone likes coming out, and we have a lot of fun activities in the course as the day goes on, and I think the guys have a pretty fun time, and even a few of the ladies come out, and I think they have fun too. So. When I was a kid, I was always the volunteer running around. Now I get to play, so it's a little funner for me. But I think it's great. We raise a lot of money, and I think people that come are very generous to us, and they're not afraid to put some money into a pot to help out all the local charities, and we have a lot of fun with it.
This year's edition of the Sutter Fun Golf Tournament raised more than $100,000 for local minor hockey. A big thank you to everybody involved. Now you saw a shot of Brandon Sutter out on the golf course. He was traded from Carolina to Pittsburgh in the offseason, and while he was at the golf tournament, he took a few moments to chat with Rebels game night host Joe Whitbread.
With former Red Deer Rebel captain, now with Pittsburgh Penguins, Brandon Sutter. Brandon, at the annual Sutter Fun Golf Classic, as we talked to you, it was a busy summer for you.
Yeah, it was a crazy one for sure. It's a whole new thing for me, getting traded and having to move all your stuff. So I think now I'm finally gonna be able to get settled, and I'm obviously looking forward to the season.
So a kid from Sylvan Lake, Alberta, Canada, gets drafted by the Carolina Hurricanes, moves to Raleigh, North Carolina. Now you're off to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. You're no stranger to moving around with your dad and your uncles and that sort of thing. And you certainly have seen a lot of sites that Rebels fans know about, but this is a bit of a culture shock, maybe.
Yeah, it's a different feel for sure. I think when I went to Carolina, it was nice. It was kind of a smaller center and kind of felt a little more like home, I guess. And now going to Pittsburgh, it's a sports city. It's a big town, and they like their sports team, so it should be a lot of fun.
Rebels fans obviously know hockey, and if you're a hockey fan, you know the Pittsburgh Penguins. There's a real shot at silver there.
Yeah.
Sidney Crosby, Jenny Malkin. Do you know these guys, and how excited are you at a true shot at the Stanley Cup?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think it'll be a lot of fun, and obviously playing with some good players. And but I think it'll be a good time, and I'm looking forward to going to a team that kind of knows how to win, and they won a few years ago, so it's kind of a new atmosphere, and I'm getting really excited about it.
All right, before we leave you, favorite Rebel moment? You've had so many. I know, we've been in the building for so long. I remember you walking around as a 10-year-old and a 12-year-old, with Dad behind the bench. Then you played. Then you were the captain of the team. You had some great playoff runs. You did some really great things. Your favorite Red Deer Rebels moment as a player?
Well, I'd have to say, I think the times I was in playoffs, I only made it twice, and both times were against Medhat in the first round. And unfortunately, we lost both in 7 games. But I can remember, I think when I was only 15, I scored my first goal in the playoffs, and that was pretty cool. It wasn't the prettiest goal, but I'll take it, and it's one I'll never forget.
Brandon, the Rebels fans always talk about you. You're one of the favorites. You obviously you wore that number 12 jersey. You wore the C. Your banner's up in the front entrance of the Century, and we always think about you, and we're cheering for you wherever you end up. But obviously in Pittsburgh this year, good luck from all of us at the Rebels.
Yeah, thanks a lot. It's I obviously love my time in Red Deer, and it's always nice to come back and see all the familiar faces.
Thanks, Joe. Yeah, and it's pretty easy for any hockey player, I would imagine, to be excited about the chance to play with Sidney Crosby and Evgeny Malkin. Hopefully, Brandon Sutter can do some good things for the Penguins this season. Now, speaking of annual events, the Morning Drive over at 106.7 The Drive recently held its annual Grilled Cheese Invitational in support of prostate cancer awareness. 15 different teams this year, including one from the Red Deer Rebels. Let's turn it over to Cam Moon for all the action.
Here we are at the annual Grilled Cheese Invitational at 106.7 The Drive. We're in the parking lot right now, and this is an annual event that Savage, Thibault, and Leanne put on to raise awareness and money for prostate cancer. Nelson Lacourse from the Rebels office, he's the resident gourmet, does a heck of a job making food for us every once in a while, and he's in charge of all creative when it comes to grilled cheese. Nelson, give me the info on what you're concocting here right now.
Well, this here is what we call the dill pickle fickle. It's got dill Havarti, it's got dill pickles, and extreme intense pickle Doritos.
Yeah, that's intense.
All on a great Canadian harvest bread, of course.
Amazing. Now this is the Rebels entry in the missionary category here at the Grilled Cheese Invitational, and Nelson concocted one for the one with the flair. Now let's talk about that one for a second. Nelson, what'd you put on that one? That one was pretty good.
That one's the best number one.
It is, I think.
It's got brie cheese, for all you brie cheese lovers out there, peach jam, bacon, of course. We put it on a croissant instead of your traditional bread, and we add on some poudre douce spice. I barely know how to say it.
I think it's French.
And some icing sugar.
Ooh, très bon, très bon. Yeah, they're putting it all together. We're going to make a ton of these because there's going to be a whack of people coming through here right away. So Nelson, great job by him, as always. Lots of people doing a lot of great grilled cheeses today.
The event was a special one of sorts for Charles Inglis, as the Rebels named one of their grilled cheese creations in honor of the colorful number 14.
I have a grilled cheese named after me. It's Charles Inglis. It's made with grilled cheese. We got some bacon in there. We got some creamsicle. What else do we got in there? We've got peaches. We've got some good jam. It tastes really good. I'm really happy to be out here, and it's pretty cool that they named one after me, and I got to eat myself today, I guess.
In the end, the Charles Inglis-inspired grilled cheese sandwich did take home some hardware, much to the delight of its creator and Rebels finance director Nelson Lacourse. All right, now just one more quick reminder about how you, the fans, can get involved with our show. Head to rebelsthisweek.com and submit your fan pictures, or also check us out on Twitter with the hashtag FanPic. Send us your favorite Red Deer Rebels-inspired photo, and you could soon be seeing it on an episode of Southside Dodge Rebels This Week. Definitely looking forward to seeing some of your photos. Well, that'll about do it for us this week. Don't forget to watch our show online at rebelsthisweek.com. We love hearing feedback both through the website and through Twitter. Thanks very much. We'll see you again next time.
done. So